And welcome back to Top Lenders in America. We're back with Jessica Binge, and welcome back. So excited to have you. I'm really excited to talk about you've got some unique processes, and your clients, they keep coming back to you because of the way you do things, which is different than other folks. So I'm excited to jump in those. And so welcome back.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And so just jumping into it, last time we talked about, of course, you got to have communication with the client. Like that's to create a wow experience. And what you do, you've created a unique process that has wow experience, transparency. What is it that you do that gets your clients to just keep coming back to you?
They do sometimes get good gifts, but when a client gets in contract on their home, I do send them a moving package that they find useful, tape gun, label maker.
Nice.
But prior to that, we go over the process in depth. When they come to me and we talk about purchasing a home, I will paint the picture as to what this process looks like because I don't know what they're envisioning in their head. So I will tell them when we're done here, you are then going to be able to go shopping. And when you go shopping, let's say you find a home this weekend. So I paint the whole picture for them and then walk them through that process. It's going to be 30 days before you sign on the home. By the way, your first payment is here because we just go over that aspect initially. And then we continue to do that throughout the whole loan process because knowing what to expect and going over that on day one is a lot for a person to handle. I'll meet the clients with where they're at. They just couldn't possibly handle. And then you got the home inspection, then you got the earnest money, and then you just gotta walk them through the process. So clients love that. They never feel in the dark with
Right.
me. I have my own shop, no overhead, and so they're always getting me. A team member that they may talk to on occasion, but I'm accessible. And
Right.
so a lot of times you go to a bank, you go to other mortgage professionals and you talk to them initially and then you never talk to them again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I love that you paint the whole picture up front, but you
Mm-hmm.
also know that's a lot to remember, and you don't expect them or put that on them to remember. And so each step of the way, you can remind them of the whole picture and then say, and we're here now, and we're here now, and we're here now.
Yes. Yes.
How did you come across this process? Because not everyone does that.
Yeah. I may have told you this already in one of our videos, but 85% of folks have a terrible experience with their mortgage professional. And so I just started writing down and collectively asking people after, especially if they had bought a home, what is it about this process that was good for you or different? And I just came up with, and it just you feel when the clients are happy. You can feel
Right.
that. You can feel when they're frustrated, and it was a trial and error sort of thing. And it's really about communication. And there's just so many forms. Like I do all of them. So I do video because they don't see me like they see the agents, right? They don't even know. So I do video. Sometimes I'll give them a video update. I do texting, I do emails, and I do phone calls. I do them all to cover all those bases with people's preference, right? Their preference.
Right.
One client said to me, I would have never guessed it, but they were like, the videos were really helpful. And I thought for sure, sometimes I get the feedback like my agent will be like, and don't send a video to these guys. Don't send a video to these guys. I'm like, I send a video to everybody.
Everyone gets the video. They can choose to watch it or not. Yeah. It's hard to have too much information.
Yeah.
And I love that they're never in the dark. And the way you get paid is people refer you and they repeat business. And that's worked really well for 12 years.
Right.
And what is your process from when they first meet you till that till they buy it, till they put a contract on a house? What's that process with you?
So usually an agent refers me a client. They will give my contact information. I like when my agents give me a heads up, right? And I also like when my agents tell them that I'm calling from an 859 number, just these little things, because I don't know about you, I get so many spam calls, so
Right.
many. So
100%.
once I connect with a client, sometimes it's text, sometimes it's email, and sometimes it's a phone call. I connect back with them, and I usually try to
Yeah.
mirror the way they've communicated with me. So if a client
Right.
emails me, I'll email them back and say, "You want to speak? Let's speak." Or if you're at work, you can by all means start the application process. So I personally love for the clients to fill out the application themselves, because when you're taking it over the phone, sometimes like phonetics, right? You can mess up a letter, you can put a wrong
Right.
letter in. So I like them to fill that out, and it's only 10 minutes to fill it out. And then I work it up. I get back to them within 24 hours. If they're self-employed, I will need their tax returns in order to reconcile. And I always
Right.
tell my self-employed folks that I need about 48 hours. And then I
Yeah.
try to do it in 24 anyway, but
Right.
just in case it's large S Corp K1s and all of that. But I like to get back to folks within 24 hours of them filling out the application, ask them some questions. I really love to set up a consultation video call like this, like a Zoom, but
Yeah.
not all clients want to do that. I recently had a client just say, "I'm not smart enough to talk to her." Like, oh my gosh, really? So he didn't want to do the Zoom appointment, but you just never know. You want to meet with the client so you can show them things and make them feel comfortable. But if they don't want to do that, then that's fine. If you want me to
Right.
issue the pre-approval and go shopping, that's fine too. From that point, I just touch base with them every week or every 2 weeks on how's it going? Did you want me to run any payments for you?
Right.
And then once we identify a property and they write a purchase contract, we will speak a little before I present disclosures out. And when the disclosures have gone out, and disclosures are loan documents that you're going to sign again at closing. So they're
Right.
very preliminary, very initial. They're workable docs, if you will. They're designed to be corrected or changed. And then I explained to the clients that we couldn't possibly know everything this day. And as we move through the process for 30 days, we are going to get invoices in, and those fees do change. And it's
Right.
my practice to make sure they go down. So everything you're seeing today is worst case scenario, every fee that could possibly happen. These will all come down. It's going to be closer to this, even though these fees look like this. If a mortgage company doesn't disclose this, we have to eat these fees, and we have 40 clients
Right.
every month. So we make
Right.
it our practice to have them a little inflated at first.
And it's
So
better to have a happy surprise than a sad
yes,
surprise.
yeah, absolutely. So everybody's usually shocked about those initial disclosures, and I do try to talk about it prior, but if it doesn't come up, but that's just
And what are some of those types of fees? Like appraisal?
that's right. So appraisals are round robin, right? It's a piece of this transaction that we no longer really control ever since 2008. It's round robin. You can't select them. Whoever spits out, and for the most part, their fees are fairly similar, but sometimes you just don't know what the fee is going to be. So
Right.
you're going to disclose what the highest that it could possibly be.
And
Good
what are
question.
some of the other fees that could be?
Lenders, or I'm sorry, title fees. We don't know how many pages are going to be in your mortgage. It's per page, certain county for cost of, that's a small fee, but normally it's about 150. I think we disclose 260.
Right.
If there are riders, like if you've got in a plan unit development, there's so many unknowns on day one of your home purchase. And that is why lenders make it their practice to put in the worst case scenario, the highest possible fee. Yeah, title fees for sure. We this is a thing that a buyer can select ultimately. So if they don't want to go with the title agency, let's say we find out through the process that, oh, my aunt works at ABC Title. We just don't know their fees. So we just put in a little high of an estimate.
Nice. And when about does that estimate get nailed down to more of a, okay, you can count on this price?
Mm-hmm. So so when you do your initial disclosures and you're moving through the process, services are ordered. So the appraisal's ordered right after you sign the initial package. The title work is ordered within 1 to 5 days. I'm speaking for myself here. Everything is super fast, right? Everything's super,
Yeah.
like we do everything. Some other lenders wait a week or two, but that's another
Right.
reason why people like me. Things get done quick. They get done when I say they're going to get done. And yeah, we ordered the services within week 1. Everything's ordered. Now, when those come in is beyond my control. But when they come in, every time there's a change made in the loan profile, they're typed in, we spit out another disclosure. So ultimately, that first week when your services are ordered, your loan is also prepped and put into underwriting. When your loan comes out of underwriting, we will shoot out another disclosure with some updated fees, depending on what we have in. No matter what, you're
Yeah.
going to get your closing disclosure. It still will be estimated at this point.
Gotcha. And so is it like the day of closing, or when do you find like the estimated? What does it depend on so that you can know that?
So the buyer also has to select a homeowner's insurance provider.
Right.
And
The
they
homeowner's
always ask, how long
insurance.
do I have to decide this? So until we have every single thing, we don't have that final number. I like to tell my clients, once we're clear to close, then we will have our final number, because those numbers are going to be balanced to the day, to the T with the title agency.
Right. A 1 day change in closing could possibly change a little bit of money here and there.
That's right. That's correct. That is
Yeah,
correct.
that makes
So yeah, I mean, it's just never going to be higher than the amount that you were initially disclosed or the other disclosures that you're going to get throughout the process. It's going to continually dwindle
well.
down.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of fun. And do you have vendors? Do you have like home insurance people? Do you have people in the community if they ask for referrals or ask people? Do you have people that you can connect them with if they don't have someone?
As a matter of fact, I send to every client, I send their info over to my homeowners. I have 2 homeowners insurance guys that I just go ahead and get a quote for them every single time,
Nice.
because there's so much to do in the process. And it's, if they would like me to take this off of their plate, I'm happy to do so. And I say,
Right.
oh, by the way, you need homeowners insurance, and here's a quote for your review. If this is
Nice.
okay by you, just let me know and I'll finalize it for you. If not, let me know who we're going with.
And
Yes.
what caused you to start doing that? That seems really smart. I haven't seen that put together before.
Shirley, I am very smart. No, I'm just kidding. Now that you said it, I'm just waiting for you to say it. No,
Where
I
did you
just
come up with
find
this brilliance?
I just find that the process can be daunting. It's, I gotta do this and I gotta do this and I gotta do this. And I feel like a lot of it's put on the client, and it's, what can I take off their plate? I also write their letters for underwriting, right? No lender does this. I don't know, maybe you know one, but
I haven't met one that does.
number one, I speak underwriter. Number one.
Right.
Number two, I just ask the question. I have it on record. I ask the question via email or via text. I'll have it on record in case anybody tries to tell you something about it,
Right.
right? She wrote that letter. I'll have it on record what they
Right.
told me. That's never happened to me because I just do the right thing. But lenders
You
have to
translate
base,
it into underwriter speak.
correct, very factual, very, a lot of times 1 out of 3 clients will need a letter for underwriting. They call them
Right.
LOXs, letter of explanation. And I'll just ask the question, let them answer it, and then I put, okay, I'll put this in a letter and you need to e-sign it. So I do that for
Right.
them too. It's a involved process, and I always try to figure out what can I take off their plates? What can I help them with?
That's a little
Good, to your
feature.
point, I don't think clients certainly don't know I do this. They don't know that
Right.
this is over and above and beyond.
Right. Yeah. They don't know that just sending that email is so much better than, hey, an email from whoever saying, you need to write a letter. And they're like,
Have you seen
what
that?
letter? I have. And then they write a letter and they send it and they're like, oh, no, it needs to say this. Okay. Oh, no, it needs to say this. Like, from now on, I'll be like, do like Jessica, write the dang letter for us.
Yeah.
So much simpler. And you get their information, you let them say it in as a human would, and then you translate to, I'm not saying underwriters are robots, but you translate to underwriter speak. And then
Yes.
it's done all at once.
Yes.
And then if they've
That's
got
right.
issues, you can take what they wrote and you can fix it. And that's a small thing, but I know so many clients, even me, when I've bought houses, like you get that long list of stuff. The LOX is one of them. And I'm just like, I don't know what any of this is. And so instead of them even having that feeling and like, all right, I got to call, you actually just parse that and take that away so that you just say, hey, can you explain this? And it's a simple response and then you make it. That's
My
really cool.
rule, my rule and my mantra is to never ask the client for more than 4 things. So my goal throughout this whole process is to, I get everything up front from them. A lot of that is used for leverage when I'm convincing a listing agent to take our deal.
Right.
I've reviewed all their income and assets. I have that to toot our horn. And then when it goes through underwriting, the goal is I'm not going to come to them with more than 4 items. It's just not going to happen. My goal is to not come to them for anything else, but
Right.
naturally it happens.
So the underwriter comes back with their list and you intermediate and you
Correct.
get as much of that you can. You talk to the underwriter, you get that down.
You got
Like
it.
the goal is none, at least four max versus 10, 12.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of changing utilities anyway and maybe moving from another home. And then you get this list of stuff that they don't get that list with you.
They do not. They do not. And
Hallelujah.
so it has, ever since I've had my own shop and I've been able to literally do that very thing, not ask them for more than 4 things, things have gone so well. My agents are always like, you can close this in 18 days, right? And I'm like, I never want to say that up front, but I've been getting CTCs and closed so quickly. And I just never want to set that expectation. They have that expectation now.
Because you've done it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know if you can, and of course you take off a lot from their plate. That's easier.
Yes.
I always, if I can get 30 days, for me, it's how do I make it peaceful for my client with my real estate practice in Nashville. That's I love that because that's my goal. How do I make it as peaceful and profitable for the client as they move to their next place? And a lot of that piece is not getting inundated with stuff.
Now, I will say, I don't want to change your expectations with your lender. Further south you go, the slower things get. I'm just being honest. You're on hold a little longer.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I'm just going to ignore that little dig at
I
Nashville.
mean, it's not a
I
dig. It's
know,
just, man, I hope he doesn't go to his lender and be like, well, Jessica can do this in 18 days.
no, I most of the time we try to close in 30 because you've got a home inspection, you've got the appraisal, we've got all that stuff. So I like to have time with that. If I've got a cash buyer that doesn't want to do an inspection and wants to close quick, that's different.
They do inspections
So
like
I,
in the first 3 days or 10 days there.
So it's negotiable. I always give us 10 business days is what I negotiate.
Okay.
That way we've got time to get the initial one at a time when my buyer can be there.
Okay.
I like the inspector to do it, and then me and the buyer show up, and he walks us through it. That way we don't
That's a good,
report.
yeah, I like that.
And then we also have time in case we need to bring in a HVAC or a roofer. If we need a
Hmm.
secondary inspection, then we've still got time to do it without getting an extension. And then it just makes it more peaceful. You don't have to. You get under contract on Sunday. You don't have to force a time by Wednesday. Hey,
Yeah, I
what's your
like the business
schedule?
day. I like that.
Um, so as
Smart.
much as possible, like I can expand the time because I found when time decreases, stress goes up. So if we can put some breathing room in there, that
Mhm.
way you got time to think, you got time to get estimates from other handymans and inspection.
Yeah.
You give the appraiser time to get stuff. That so give the lender like most of the time, hey, can we get it done in 30 days? Long as there's not multiple offers, sometimes you got multiple offers, you just got to do what it takes. But the goal is once you know what the client's important to the client, make it as peaceful as possible through that.
Yeah. I prefer 30-day contracts for sure. That's my
Yeah.
preference. And then if we get it done, then everybody's happy.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives everybody time to look at the documents and know what it's doing and
Hmm.
get the movers lined up and all of that. And but I love your process of taking as much as possible. And I'm getting the feeling that like you love solving problems. Every deal has new stuff, so you're always thinking about new things to do. I'm curious, what's the latest invention? What's the latest improvement that you've made to make the process easier for a client?
That's a hard one because there's a lot of trial and error, but I grammar and spelling is very important to me. So it's important to my real estate partners as well. Because if you can't spell a client's name, like how good are you going to be at this meticulous $300,000 to $500,000 purchase? The least you can do is spell a client's name correctly, right?
Right.
So I don't know where I'm going with this other than I've had some team members that I
Oh,
told them
overlook
that I have a
that.
particular agent that this is very important to them and they
Right.
deal in high level clients. And I used to have a loan partner where the sentences were a little off. How do you correct that? I don't know. It's one of those things. Yeah. So with my new business, I added a person to the team and it's, they knew that this agent has this preference and there were several mistakes that I just overlooked. Finally, I did point it out because it was a name and I only pointed it out because the client said it to me. I wouldn't
Right.
even have pointed it out. But the client said she
Right.
spelled my name wrong. So I just said it. Hey, I just want to let so and because she hired people in her team. So case in point, I'm very hands on. I want my clients to do with me. I want the experience to be great, and I'm not going to compromise. Right? I'm going to keep people with my same sort of passion serving my clients. They didn't like that critique. I don't know if we're going to part ways, but
Right.
it seems so silly. There's other things, but we strive for excellence. We strive for a wow experience. Yeah, I'm always looking for the same style of what can I do to help the client, trying to incorporate AI a little. I don't know how
Right.
to do that, but I'm open to it. I'm looking into it.
Yeah.
But in
Whatever
a
you can do to
world,
make it
Charlie,
smoother for
full
them.
of, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
I just said whatever it takes to make it smoother and easier for them.
In a world full of, I told you this, you call and you're speaking to people you don't really understand sometimes.
Right.
You're on hold, you're doing all these prompts, getting a real person on the phone. I don't know. It's just back to basics. It's if I want to stand out among my colleagues, I'll just pick up the phone and talk to my clients. It's not a new invention, but it's, trust me, I would like to text or email myself sometimes, but I just want to be able to talk to those clients when they need me.
That's really powerful. Yeah. And I love that you walk through that whole process with your clients ahead of time. And then you walk through each one, and you're always improving. And as people can tell, these questions aren't pre-planned. I just I threw you one. And I love the fact that you love solving problems, and that is an issue. Like 85% of people's lending experience is bad, and you want it to be not just good, but a wow experience. And so you're always innovating, like how to do that, how to give them a wow experience, let it be transparent, so that the goal isn't just to close this loan, but they repeat as clients because they love you, and they refer their friends because they trust you. And
That's right.
that is that's how great businesses, all the top lenders that I've interviewed, that's the foundation. Like that's the purpose of business, to get repeat and refer clients, because then that shows that you've done a great job.
Agreed.
And what's the best way for someone to reach out or refer a friend to you? What's the best way to get in touch?
So they can text or call me at 859-806-8040, or they can, I have a loan application link, so it's just jessicabinge.com,
Right
and they
there.
can fill it
Easy
out.
peasy.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on Top Lenders in America again, and have a great day. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.